Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Here we have MR examination of brain, axial T1, axial post contrast T2 and flare sequence. Here we can see this is a complex mass. At this point we can see a solid component which is in suprasellar region. Here we see this is significant post contrast enhancement of this lesion. Posteriorly we see there is mass effect on basilar artery, and we can see anterior surface of the palms shows mild mass effect. We can also see dilated temporal horns because of obstruction of the lateral ventricle. Just moving cranially, significant mass effect is also appreciated on interpeduncular cistern, and there is splaying of both crus of the midbrain. Anteriorly we can see anterior cerebral arteries, mass abuts with anterior cerebral arteries. Here we see this is third ventricle. Anterior to third of the third ventricle is occupied by the mass lesion, and here we see this is non-enhancing cystic component and this is enhanced solid component. So this is a cystic component of complex mass occupying third ventricle. Here we can see on flare sequence as well, we can see frontal horns are dilated, atria and occipital horns are also dilated. So this is because of obstruction generated at the level of foramen of the Monro. Cranially we see lateral ventricles, both are dilated. So a complex mass noted in suprasellar region extending cranially into third ventricle, causing obstructive changes in the drainage of lateral ventricle, because of which there is mild degree of obstructive hydrocephalus of the lateral ventricle. This is a typical example of craniopharyngioma. Here we see this is axial post contrast, and this one is sagittal post contrast, and this is coronal post contrast sequence. We can see pituitary gland is compressed by the mass lesion, and the mass extends cranially occupying interpeduncular cistern with the mass effect on midbrain. Cranially it extends and occupies anterior two-third of third ventricle, leading to obstruction of the foramen of the Monro, because of which lateral ventricles are dilated. And here we see this is a cystic component of the mass. Overall this gives us a lobulated appearance. Solid component shows intense post contrast enhancement, cavernous sinus areas on both sides, and remaining brain parenchyma appears unremarkable, and there is no ischemic or hemorrhagic insult. Fourth ventricle, tactile plate, cerebral aqueduct, corpus callosum, all are normal. So this is an example of craniopharyngioma leading to obstruction of the lateral ventricles. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.